The web application is a Node.js runtime environment which interfaces with a MongoDB database to store user location data. Users communicate to the Node.js runtime environment over API calls and WebSockets to update the map with their live location. The WebSocket works by sending an initial connection request to the server with a username entered by the user. The server then sends the client back their new username ID. Every minute from then, the client will send back a JSON string to the server containing their line color, lat long coordinates, and their username ID, which is now stored on the Mongo database. Every 15 seconds, the server will broadcast the latest usernames, coordinates, line color, and online status to each connected client so they can update their map with the live coordinates of each online user. We can simply alter code within VS Code and Git will track the files we have either created or altered. In the terminal, we can type git status to see what files have been altered, then git adds to add the following files we would like to push, git commit to commit these changes and add a name describing the commit, and then git push to push these changes to our repository. Then within the repository's actions, we can watch as the workflow creates and builds our testing environment. This consists of cloning the repository, setting up Node and installing our dependencies on a virtual machine managed by GitHub Actions, recreating the credentials file with secrets specified within the repository, linting with ESLint, running our Mocha and Chai tests, using a HTML validator to validate the client's HTML file, then finally uploading our code back to the repository. Once completed, our Docker image can now be created and pushed to the Microsoft Azure container. We can then see that the Azure container has successfully restarted through GitHub Actions. To confirm this, we can see on the Azure website that the restart did occur, which re-downloads the latest commit from the repository. To make sure, we can then view the web app's URL to see if the site is working properly. Here's an example of me entering a tag incorrectly into the index file. I then add, commit, and push this file to the project repository. The code then gets put through GitHub Actions to be validated. If either our Mocha or Chai tests fail, or the HTML5 validation tests fail, all other jobs are skipped, therefore our continuous deployment does not occur, keeping our live projects saved within the Azure containment from any mistakes. Once fixing these changes and pushing our code again, the continuous integration should pass, therefore allowing our fixed code to be recreated into a Docker image and pushed out to the Azure container and exposed to the internet. So here is where I enter my username on my phone and we begin tracking. I left my phone in this location for about 20 minutes before I started moving. Now we can access the web app with a different device. You can see other users' paths that were drawn on the app and go back to your location with the My Location button. I then enter a username so I can watch the live location on my phone. This is where I leave the house to walk around my local area and demonstrate live location updates. Here you can see the old location line go grey. That means the user is offline. This is the final location the phone sends to the server. After 10 minutes, this updates the laptop by turning the phone grey to indicate the user's offline. This is where the laptop finishes sending locations to the server. It stops updating from here, and this is when the project ends.